Camera is without wasting of time.
Come on, stand by on the main camera.
And the so what we are doing here is the smart board. There is internet, it's unlimited LTE. There are HDMI cables, there are 2 cameras here. So literally, at times, a teacher walks in here without a laptop. So the teacher can come in here and actually talk to the learners wherever they are and teach them. But later on, we're going to introduce the teacher here. We will pretend the teacher is at home. So you'll be seeing exactly how she does her lesson while the learners are in another class. So, but we'll show you how it works. But what is most important, colleagues, is we studied the life of a learner. The learners of today are not like the learners of yesterday. So things are happening on demand. Even yourself, colleagues, you want to pay your accounts, you do it wherever you are. So everything is on demand, click of a button. And that's exactly, we want to bring the excitement of education towards this learner. So that whatever video they want to see, let it happen immediately. Isn't na gonza gona ne ngwala mangolo e kena posong and ulo check up post box so haso ngoli, you know. So times have changed and we need to move with the times. So we'll ensure that our teachers are trained without any waste of time. Let's see the beauty of the platform.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Christoph. Good morning, colleagues, again. The platform itself, just explain how it all works, and then after I'll go into an actual demonstration of the system itself. So just as Uso mentioned, so we are a global virtual learning environment provider. So we focus on providing or enabling organizations and institutions the ability to take their learning online. So we offer a very simple, customized mobile system, and anybody who wants to teach, basically it could be a school, university, even like organizations and corporates can also use the platform to teach and learn arts. This allows us to put together entire curriculums for students. There's an easy user navigation, so we're able to customize it and make it very easy for people to follow and make it very easy for the teachers to basically use the platform and to go through the system as easily as possible. We also then have interactive engagements. So basically what we're able to do is to take like things such as like past papers and digitize them. And in doing this, it allows the students to basically use their mobile devices to actually answer questions and do assessments. What that does for us is it gives us tracking so we can see where the students are missing their questions and where we can improve. And that'll give us analytics at the end of the day to see at the very detail, at the micro level, what each student is doing and where we need to improve, not just as a school, an individual, as a district as well. We also have abilities to create different courses for students, and that allows us to put different components together. Basically, we can put videos with notes, with textbooks in a sequence that way. There's some high-level analytics on the platform. We also have the ability to provide different types of media, so any type of video material that you can use that on the platform itself. There's also live streaming, which is going to be demonstrated just now, and then also live chats, so you can have a back and forth directly on the platform. So you don't have to go to another system, everything is in one. So more often than not, you have to jump into Zoom for the video calling, Google Drive for the textbooks, and all these other systems. So everything is in one place, so you don't get lost and you don't have you don't struggle to try and like find what you're looking for. It's also available in mobile devices as well, which is 90% of all the users on every single platform that we've deployed are on mobile. So, and that's because that's what people have access to. That's the only devices that they have access to. This is an example of a live stream that was running, and this is how it would look from a mobile device essentially, and you can obviously just adjust it according to your landscape or portrait in order to make it bigger. Students can also upload or take pictures of their homework that gets sent through to the educators and their peers, and they can basically have engagements that way as well. This is also now the analytics dashboard, so now we can pull statistics. We can see when did students log in, when did educators log in, what scores did they get. We can get detailed reports going down to each individual. going into different classes, different subjects, and see which subjects are doing better than others. And then we can also track and see where do we need to make interventions in order to assist the district or the school in terms of improving their results. So just in terms of the overall value proposition, it's a very simple system. It offers a lot of cost savings compared to traditional trainings and learning methods. And obviously the partnership with Telkom is quite key because it helps us with the data component, because the biggest issue that you have is data. A lot of videos are being sent from our servers to the students, so having the capabilities of zero-rated data is quite important with regards to how it can actually deliver services to students. Not to mention the live streaming itself. Okay. In terms of the service for education, so obviously we provide a lot of support services on the system, so access to past papers, to all supplementary material the students can get access to. The students have access to the live chats, they have live classes, they can obviously improve their academic results. With the educators, they have the ability to also get analytics to see where the students are struggling with. And then a lot of automation. So basically they can set papers on the platform and the system will mark the question papers directly. So then there's no need for 5 weeks of marking. You just set the paper, maybe it takes 20 minutes to set the paper, then you're done, you give it to the students, they complete it, and you just get the results instantly. So that's one of the key benefits around that. So for educators who struggle with marking, this can sort it out in like less than a few seconds. Okay. Some other things that we do from a LIPO perspective is we offer live classes. Currently we're running grades 7 to 12, and essentially we're going to be expanding from 4 all the way to grade 12, and we're going to be covering subjects such as mathematics, physical science, life sciences, accounting, English and Afrikaans. Last night, I think at 6 o'clock was life sciences. I think tonight, is physical science. So every evening between 4 o'clock and about 8 o'clock, there's different subjects that we're running as a supplementary service for the students, and it follows the curriculum. So as they're going through, they can always go and follow the lessons that were put on there. And also, if you missed a lesson, you can just go back to the recordings, because all the recordings are aligned, and you can also ask questions to the educators directly on the platform, and they'll respond. Okay, so this is an example of like an English class, and here's an example of like some question papers that they give in the actual class itself. Okay. Thank you. So I'm just going to go into the actual platform itself. We can switch. Let's see if we can come back. Sorry, apologies. Let me just make sure. So I don't know if you can just help me with the display. Yeah, display. Let's just try again. And I can just go into the normal one actually. Oh, yeah, that's one. Yeah, that's one. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is essentially the Lightbulb platform. It starts off with a basic dashboard. This tracks basically the students' engagement, so we can see things such as like logins, number of courses that were done, things such as like interactive engagements or tests and assessments, and also just to track in terms of points. Every time somebody does something on the system, you're able to track the points that they've received. We're also able to go and look and filter down to like the individual subjects. So I can go down to like maybe grade 12, and let's just look at maybe physical sciences, and you can see how many students were active and what they were doing over the course of the week. So it gives you a lot of detail around that. I'm just going to go into some of the type of courses that we have on the system. Let's just look at, let's give you an example. So what we have on the platform is there's a lot of material that's already existing the students can get access to. And what we do here is we demonstrate that there's opportunities for students to catch up. So all those that have left out or have missed a particular topic, you can go onto the platform and you'll find there'll be opportunities for them to follow what's available. So there'll be things such as like media. So this is a good example of some courses. So maybe there'll be like a video that's presented on a particular topic. And then after they've gone through that topic, what will be available is we call them LICs, or Lightbulb Interactive Content. And what this allows us the ability to do is we take either textbook questions or past papers, and we're able to digitize them into activities which the students can then do. And each time somebody does something on the platform, we're able to track and see whether or not they actually understand that particular topic. And there's different ways that you can ask questions. Okay. So, just as you're going through it, there's different ways that an educator can create different types of questions for the students, as you can see here. So if I move on to, are there any questions from anybody? Before I move on to other sections. I know it's quite a lot of information, but hopefully you'll get to understand as we go along. So just to show you some other examples of material that's available. So I just want to show you maybe some past papers, just to show you how that works. So what we do from a LiveOps perspective, and we help the educators to do this, is to basically go and look at maybe past papers and see how we can convert them into a digital activity, which can then be tracked. So what would be considered to be, like, let's just look at, I always like to use this one because I know that was answers. Like, here's an example of the National Senior Certificate 2018 question paper for physical sciences. And if you go onto the department, you'll actually find that question paper is exactly as it is over here. And what we've done is we've basically gone and converted it into a digital activity. So now the students can go through it and ask and answer the questions listed here. I'm just going to say we'll accelerate something. This is right. I'm just going to tap onto this so I can just give you an example of how it works. So all we are doing is we're mimicking what you would do in a normal question paper, but we're just making it digital. So now, and any educator can do this. Any educator can take whatever paper or topic that they're covering, and they can digitize it using all the tools that are on the platform. Okay, so and what I like to do is if you actually go onto the question paper, you will find this exact document, and all we've done is just make it digital. Okay, and there's different ways that students can ask questions. Here's a part where they have to actually do a calculation, so they'll do the calculation, get the answer, and then they have to fill in what the final answer is, and the system will tell them whether or not they got it right or wrong. Just some other examples. I just want to show you of how educators have used the system. Let's use the Protect Teachers. So in some cases what happens is that the educator wants to maybe do something more dynamic and not just do a live class. So what they'll do is they'll record themselves teaching a particular topic, and then they'll introduce some questions within the actual video itself, and we can track this to see whether or not the students understand. So I don't know if you'll see this one.
Welcome again, grade 11.
Okay, so here's an example.
So is cyclic quadrant.
So as the educator is going through, he's put questions for the students to answer, and so you can see whether or not it's correct, and you're going through it.
So a quadrilateral whose vertices lie on the circumference called
So at every one of those dots is a question. And so each time you can check to see, did they understand what was explained, and you can actually try and see all the students that have watched this video, how many of them actually know what is being discussed over here. And we can always track all these, activities using the platform itself. And then the last sort of sections I just want to talk about is just the live engagement, and I guess also the analytics. So basically, we have the ability for students to ask questions, and what they do is they can use their mobile devices or whichever device that they have available. They can take a picture of the homework as an example, and they can post it to the educators, and then they'll give a response. So this is one of the key benefits around this. So this is an example. So here's an example of maybe a student taking a picture of their homework. And so then what will happen is that the guys will go through it and then give a response, and they can then send it back to the student directly. Other examples are also the chats. So we have the group chats. So the students can talk to educators directly or to their peers. They have the ability to share things such as whiteboards as an example. So just hopefully she'll be running it live. I hope she's there. Share my screen so I just go to the whiteboard. So What this allows us the ability to do is, if we want to explain something maybe with graphics, we have the ability to do so here. So basically, for us to draw a graph, then the educator can basically help and work directly with the students as a group or as individuals. Okay. Any questions so far?
Thanks for the presentation. I think the question that I have is the conducted paper digital.
Yes.
Is the teacher able to interact direct as the students are working on their paper? Let's say, for example, they are reviewing the past paper. Can the teacher interactively work with them through that particular paper?
They can, if they're doing essentially like the live class.
Yeah.
So if you're doing the live class, you can actually work with the students directly, and you can show them how to answer the question and how to go through the different components. But if you want to manipulate it or change like the question within the paper, you'd have to update it, and the students would have to refresh, and then they'll see the changes that you've made to the
But it's
question.
capable.
Yes, you have the ability to change. She's going to give an example of a live stream just now. Just to explain how that goes.
Maybe the last one, in terms of special schools, I'm not sure how many special schools are here in the state, but no other provinces. Is the system able to accommodate, the special learners
It depends on. It depends on. I mean, we have to understand more or less what the capabilities are for the schools, and we can try and see how we can work with that. But there's a lot of tools on the platform which allow you different ways of teaching. So there's live pedagogies versus video or preset or self-study services. So it depends on what's, and also in terms of like the special schools, there's a lot of tools that we can use in order to try and see how we can help you to mitigate the different conditions that you're working on.
Just last one, how many simultaneous learners can log in? Is there an limited?
It's unlimited at this point in time.
So no bandwidth compromise in terms of the bits that they will be transmitting on the.
So because it's on the server side, there's no issue. The issue might be where you are. So maybe within, like whatever the throughput is out of this building. So if you have a 10 meg line and you have 100 students, they're all going to be cutting the 10 meg line. But from the server, it's unlimited. So I just want to just show you one last. Oh, sorry.
I just want to check whether teachers can they be able to convert
Yes.
any document they have.
So we show them how to do that, and we do have training, which guys can book and ask for. Please, if I want to learn how to do advanced sort of like interactive content and so on, we'll help them to do that. So it's part and parcel of how much they want to do. More often than not, they can just take what's on the system and just reuse it. But if they want to use their own and take whatever material that they have, they can just ask us, and we'll help them to train them to show them how to. And in fact, but the fellow and co, that's what they do. They'll help them to show them how to convert your question paper into digital.
So, and all other schools around here with their own budgets can be able to.
Yes, as long as you have, you can just join us. I think the only issue is obviously the data. I don't know how Telkom's going to be. But yes, anybody can, as long as you can access them anyway.
As long as you are using Telkom, obviously, the blue company, we have 0 rated.
Yes.
So as much as we are giving the 15 gig to the learner for other things that they may use, but as long as they will be using this platform, no learner will say, my data is finished, daily money, buy me data to study. That is out of question. It is free to study, it is free to connect, as long as you stay with the blue company.
So anybody can access, it's just that it's free from, it's cheaper from what? From Telkom.
Yeah.
I just want to check the Icasa-Dbe-Dcdt was provided schools routers. Are they going to be able to use our I want to know.
So another thing, Director, while you are there is the Mpumalanga
Yes.
have bought all their 55,000 learners
Yeah.
Telkom SIM cards. All of them, they've got Telkom SIM cards. So it's something that you need to discuss and see how do we all move towards that. But the system is monitored. If you want to join other schools, and obviously we will need to create the usernames and passwords so that you are able to monitor to say school X in Telkom, so many learners and all those kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll discuss that. In terms of access. There are so many things that we can ask in terms of access of the students, other schools, whether they want to create their own classes there. So it's another discussion that one.
Yeah.
But for now, we're still following.
To answer the actual question, so the thing is, there's a lot of data, especially video data. It's a lot of it. So you can access from any company, but it's zero-rated with Telkom. So, because like, just as an example, for physical sciences, grade 12, it's over maybe almost 100 gigs of data, just one subject. So you want to make sure that you can cater for that aspect of things. But anybody can access it. If you've got the data, you can do so. But we prefer that you work with the guys who are providing, at no cost. So this example of like a live class. This is English. It's run every week, and so you can basically join, and they'll give you examples. So let me just drop these. And basically what will happen here is that you will basically be able to, she'll give you like a live task to do while she's teaching. So basically you can actually follow and see whether or not the students are understanding the particular topic. So this is just a recording of one class that we did like maybe 2 weeks ago or so on. And then the last thing that we can just want to show you is just the analytics. So we're able to then pull detailed reports to see like how students are actually doing. We can track it, we can provide it down to the district, we can filter based on subject. If you want to know which gender is doing better than others, you can do so. So there's a lot of statistics that you can pull from the reports. Okay, great. And then we're just going to jump onto the live session. Let's see.
Yes, I'm wondering this, what time you doing this is it, you just said anyone can just use it. Is it a door browser that use that maximizes the features?
It depends on what device you're using. So obviously if you're using Macs, then Safari is usually good, but Chrome is the standard. Chrome is the standard.
Chrome you said 90% of the users will
Yeah. You have Chrome, or whatever your default browser is. Sorry. So I just want to just highlight, sorry, is running the stream now. The main reason why we use the browser is also because we don't want students to have too much storage on their devices, basically. Some of the bigger systems, they basically, it's like an app, so that app loads onto your phone and it takes up maybe 500 megs of space. Students don't have the capacity for it, they'd rather use it for photos and Instagram. So, and we have a lot of data that we're pushing, so it's lots of video, lots of information, so we prefer that the students are able to just quickly access it, do what work that they need to do, and then move on from there. Do you want me to run? I can always ask Megan to also run a stream from her side. Just gotta make sure she's. Okay.
So colleagues, this is our lovely teacher at home or wherever she is. And there, it's more of a platform of a learner there. The learner at home can see the usual teacher at school. But this is actually what you see. She's at home and about to teach them. Same thing that I have this way. Okay, but we would like you to observe the learners at home, but actually in the class. So we're gonna move to the class so that you sit down with the learners, ask them questions, engage them, how they feel about the system, how they engage. They'll be able to talk to the teacher here. So I like you guys, we're gonna stand up and move towards that room. And please have a seat. Where possible, there may be a laptop with the headphones that we have set up so that you experience what the learners are experiencing. Please engage the learners when we get in the room. Thank you, colleagues.
The blue compass. Is it the blue, the green?
The blue.
The blue compass.
That's it.
But they're happy.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I'll stick here for 2 minutes. Yeah.
I'm going to go to that side as well. Just to
Just with the letters.
assist on that. But she's good. She's.
No, it's good. No, she needs it.
Oh,
She needs it.
it's fun.
Yeah, to show that it's all. Otherwise she forgets. So remember, we still learning, so she needs that.
Yeah, so that you can see that it's still
Yeah,
right.
that it's still right. No worries.
No worries. You hear me?
Don't you dare to ask me questions. I'm telling you, don't you dare.
I'm going to phone them to start the lesson for 5 minutes. Colleagues, while you are here, my apologies. I forgot to inform you that these sessions are live on YouTube. if you see those guys, whatever is happening is already training on social media. So don't be surprised that people say, hey, we saw you, already is running. Whatever will be happening here is running on social media. So thank you, colleagues. The teacher, I think, is going to start now. Please interact with the learners.
Quick one. What happens if kids ask questions at the same time? How is the teacher able to manage the questions?
So it's part of like your question will have to obviously follow everybody.
For example, 50 kids asking different questions. Will she have time now to listen to the learners and the lesson? Or which one? Yeah, it's the same.
So we have to track and see how to repeat the question.
The stage is called stage.
And which is our lower course, is also called a old stage. So today you need to know what is happening in the upper course of the river. Secondly, what is happening in the middle course of the river together with the lower course. What are the fluvial features that we found in each stages of the river together with the fluvial processes that is happening. And let us start with the upper course of the river. We need to know what is happening in the upper course of the river. Firstly, we need to know what is happening in the upper course of the river, fluvial processes, fluvial features, and the type of erosion. In the upper course of the river, we'll have the vertical erosion, and it's also called a downward erosion. So, in the upper course of the river, we also have these fluvial features that we found there, together with fluvial landforms. Let us go to the fluvial processes. What is actually, or what is exactly happening in the upper course of the river? In the upper course of the river, we have vertical erosion. What caused this vertical erosion? Let me go to the second slide. It is caused by the steep gradient, where the river channel flows very fast, of which is the turbulent flow. So as a result, now we will have a valley shape where the river will be narrow and deep. That will cause now a V shape. We also have the cross section there. We also have the cross section. I'm just going to show you now. This is the cross section in the upper course of the river. The gradient there, it is steep, and the velocity of water, the water is flowing very fast, and the type of landform, the type of erosion that takes place there, it is downward erosion or vertical erosion. Together with these landforms, we have waterfall that we found there in the upper course of the river, the interlocking spurs, together with the rapids. So what caused these landforms? It is because now we have the sudden change in gradient or in a slope. Remember that in the upper course, it's where the river starts, of which is we have a steep gradient there. That is why now we'll have the formation of these landforms and the type of erosion, of which is the downward erosion or vertical erosion. Learners, don't forget to ask questions in the comment section. I think we need to move to the middle course or the mature stage of the river now. So in this mature stage of the river, that's when the river now start to have the bends, of which is we call it a meander, the river bends. Why this river will have a river bend? It is because of the change in gradient. The gradient now will start to change into gradual or into be gently, not that it's going to be flat, but now it's starting to change. As a result, we'll have these fluvial landforms. Then let us go to the fluvial process. We need to learn what is happening in the middle course of the river. In the middle course of the river, we have both vertical erosion and horizontal or lateral erosion. But the erosion that is dominating there, it is a lateral erosion where now the river start to erode sideward. And as a result now, the river now will start to be much wider. So now when we go back to the upper course, when we compare these courses of the river, we see the difference now that, okay, in the upper course we have the interlocking spurs, we have waterfalls, we have a steep slope, but then in the middle course, the river now start to be much wider. The valley of the river now, it's become a U shape. Then we also have two erosion, but the one that is dominating here, it is a lateral erosion, of which is now the river start to meander, to erode sideward. Then let us go to the fluvial features. In the middle course we have the meanders and we also have spurs, but here in the middle course these spurs, they are not interlocking compared to the upper course. Then we also have the river bends, of which is the meanders. Let us go to the lower course of the river now. In the lower course of the river, the gradient there, it is gently. It is almost flat. How is the flow of water in the lower course? What is happening in terms of fluvial features and fluvial processes? In the lower course, we have the gradient there, it is gently. As a result now the water will flow very slow, and we have the deposition of the sediments. We will also have, meaning that in the lower course of the river now will start. Now the river, we are still in the lower course. The river now will start to flow. I'll try Kamohelo. Okay, I can see your concern, Kamohelo. I'll try to project my voice.
Yeah, you can ask while we are all listening. Let us colleagues, may I request your attention? Thank you so much. I'm not sure if you want to ask questions to the learners, the beneficiaries.
I think mine is simple. Morning. What is the experience? How do you find the experience of virtual classroom than the actual physical? The teachers they meet and this what is your experience? If you guys want to say the 1 hour to get home. Oh, okay. Oh.
And this is actually because we didn't go in the class. We've taken in the class in the
okay. Oh, okay. And no corner in the heart. Oh, okay. Okay.
What grade is this one?
Grade 12. Okay. And then the interaction with the teacher, the total experience.
The gradient now is gently. As a result, we will have more deposition of the sediments in this river, and we also have the high volume of water. Okay, make sure that you ask questions. You make sure that learners, you ask questions. So, Tiisetso, he's asking the question where the gorges appear. The gorges appear in the upper course of the river. It goes hand in hand with the waterfall because we have a very steep gradient. Okay, let us go to, we appreciate that those questions, learners. Let us go to Bongani. He's also asking another question. So, ma'am, is there other name of the middle course? The other name of the middle course, remember, I said that they're also called by stages. So it is a mature stage, right? It is a mature stage there, meaning that, of course, we have another name or the alternative that is called in the middle course of the river. Okay, let us go there now.
So it's not like WhatsApp where it's completely open. It's a closed system, and we track back almost 120 days worth of engagement between brothers.
Hey, with me. I'm asking myself a question, but I think the two principals assist me. Because for this program, this cannot be a project. It's a program that should assist our learners. But where are my teachers? Where are my teachers? Are my teachers on the same level with the learners? Or are they saying, hey, no, we can't use this. Remember at the we had IDP. I remember we were at the school where the MEC was fighting us with the usage. So now, I've got DMT here as well as the principals. How are we going to ensure that this program really benefits our learners? How are we going to ensure that our teachers are not saying, I've been working here, my learners were passing, I know we cannot use this one. And at that point, that performance is not at the expected level. Well, that's the question. I'm here, I'm asking myself, how are we going to make this thing work? How are we going to make this thing work? I want the principals to come in and the DMT to come in.
Never is true that some of our educators they are not conversant with using this, but gradually they are getting there because we really get assistance from Telkom. They usually train educators, they train SLTs. Some of the teachers whom they call themselves DBT, we do encourage them as principals to say we must get rid of this. We need to use that so that
I can say the most effect it is because of the slope, meaning that if we have more erosion, it is caused by the slope. However, the type of soil, it's one of the factors, but the most one, it is caused by it, or it's influenced by the slope. Because if we have a steep slope, then we'll have more erosion. That is why now we'll go to river rejuvenation, where the river start to gain its energy, and erode, it is because of the sudden change in gradient, meaning that the gradient is having more effects or influence in terms of erosion. Meaning that, all in all, we are looking at the gradient. It's one of the main, or it's the agent, right? Kamuhelo, what causes the river to erode downward? Okay, I think that is the same questions, but it's caused by the hilly landscape, the hilly slope, or the gradient. Then we also have a question that coming from Keketso. Keketso is saying, ma'am, if I write in an exam, if I'm asked what type of fluvial process take place at the upper course, should I answer with both downward erosion and vertical erosion? Okay, Keketso. In the upper course, vertical and downward erosion, it's the same name. It's going to be correct if you say it is a downward erosion or vertical erosion. It is one and the same thing. You should remember that you should be able to differentiate between a fluvial process and fluvial landforms. So what is the difference between fluvial process and fluvial landform? The fluvial process, you need to know what is happening in each course of the river. The fluvial process, what are the features or the landforms that we'll found or that is caused by these erosion or the deposition of these sediments to the river. For example, in the upper course, if they say that what is the fluvial process that take place in the upper course, your answer will say downward erosion or vertical erosion. It's one and the same thing. Then the fluvial landforms or features. Now you should be
in that program, we are getting learners who are obtaining 100% in maths and science. And you know, because of COVID, I could see if you are visiting school, you will be, moving out, attending to something of this nature. Mr. Mkomutwana is in the program. So I want Dr. Mkomutwana, that's why I'm saying DMT, let's talk to say, how are we going to ensure that these two schools and the rest of the schools in the district really benefit from this? Because learners are ahead of us, Dr. Makati, but we are behind. And how are we going to ensure that we support them? That's the thing. That is where I am as a person to say, you know what, I don't want this program to say, but it did not work like smart schools. Remember, of course, smart school. Evumwe. Where is Evumwe today, Tate? Simlo. The performance of the school. Can you see? We need to be the support that is provided to us today. Let's take it to our schools. And the DMT and the officials of the department must ensure that when they come here, they monitor, or not only here, because we'll be able to view this thing wherever we are. We'll be able to track the performance of the school and also the usage. Yes. DMT, can you come in?
Director, my only way to monitor and ensure that this project succeeds. If Telkom assures me that they have trained the principals. If principals are trained, then I can be able to monitor. But without them knowing what is happening here, then it will be very difficult. But with them, I'm sure that this will succeed. Thank you.
DMC members?
Director, I think now that we are here, we should actually take it from after day. Because we are already having everybody involved, so that we map the vehicle, we map the management, we map the usage, how are we going to involve everybody in the district. I think that we should do today. So that going forward, I'm thinking that we are getting to the holidays where there are already programs for schools. So look at how do we connect the bigger number of schools that we have, particularly those that are not performing at the moment. And when you name them, people will say, see how best can we, make them benefit from the programs. So year after we have the meeting that we are requesting. Thank you.
Director, can I also be saying, Roma has teacher development and institutes, ICT, the e-learning facilitators that we put. I think we must be committing ourselves. Supporting, monitoring, and being involved wholeheartedly. Then all your fears will be allayed. So leave it at our doorstep. That am I right to say that? That I'm putting our e-facilitators, the ICT facilitators, and maybe DMT like director is saying, now we must be fully engaged. Give only 2 schools. I mean, we're not talking 100 schools. We're talking 1 school in Putacha, 1 school in Finito. Then to give you reports.
So Mr. K, it's very clear now that your report won't be enough if it's without the progress made by the school in this program. So that we know exactly where we are. Are we making progress or there are challenges? We cannot be told about challenges in January where the numbers have failed. Really, I'm so touched. You must know, I'm so touched because we need to support these learners. Without our support, these learners are doomed. So we need to stand up and ensure that they get that maximum support that we have been needing. No stories in January. No, the program, it was not working. The collection, these stories when things have collapsed. The load shedding, all right, I'm thinking about those stories for to say, January will come, stories will be here. So colleagues, let's remove all those things and see to it that we don't even wait for December. Our September results, especially of the 2 schools, must show that there is support provided by Telkom. We must just see when you look at the dashboard to say, this thing is working. Thank you very much.
Maybe for talking about monitoring evaluation, technically, is it possible for a district to have direct access to the platform wherever they are without them coming? Probably on their gadgets, on their tablets or wherever they are, can the district official access and view what is happening between the teacher and the learners elsewhere? Okay. By the way, it's not only 2 schools. How many schools have you connected in Tabu Futsanyana? 89. 99. There are 99 schools that we provided from the department with connectivity. Those we are struggling to get the impact kind of report from the department. We own the technology that last belong to education. So we have been struggling, also the minister, to report in parliament to say the program that the department funded in Tabu Futsanyana, how is it assisting? But obviously we might talk offline or outside the meeting. But we are saying it's not only 2 schools that are currently enabled. There is 99 schools that are currently, as we're speaking, are provided with 10 megabits per second, and they're utilizing the gadgets. And it's more of having this kind of platform to be integrated to those schools. But other service providers will be on board in terms of the universal service applications. Then we can work together with them to see how we monitor 2 plus 99 schools that are already connected. Plus more that will come with the new spectrum allocation, the 5G spectrum allocation. There will be more schools that, actually all the schools in Free State will be connected with this new obligation, including the 99 that are already, 99 plus 2, 101 that are connected. Thanks.
No, it's true. It's 99 schools that were connected through
SA Connect.
what SA Connect Phase 1. Yes. But the other thing that we still have to look at is the type of connectivity that we're talking about. Whether that connectivity allows all learners to have access to that network. Because if you connect only, maybe that means block, and all classrooms don't have access points, then it means learners, wherever they are residing in classrooms, they don't have access to that network. So those are the main things that, as you see, as we move to second phase, we should have corrected whatever deficiencies that we experienced in phase 1 so that we don't bring those limitations to phase 2. But I'm happy that you guys are moving now.
Yeah, we are moving at speed, yeah.
Thank you so much for this. I think we appreciate. I think as Telkom we appreciate so much support. I think this is going to work, Director. Director, this is the first phase because this thing is recorded today. I think from our side as Telkom, we are looking into a program for unemployed youth. As soon as end of this year or beginning of next year. But it is highly dependent on the usage of this current infrastructure. What will take a number of young people who have passed matric, who have done mathematics, who did not have the opportunity to go to universities. We'll put into our program to do software development, to do business analyst, and we pay them every month. And they don't connect from home as well. We haven't done Free State. That is why we are starting now. We have done Gauteng, we are busy Northwest and Limpopo and Eastern Cape. So, as you say, Director, we will be watching the usage of this program in Free State so that we can input unemployed program to the young people of Free State. So the usage is very critical. Because Telkom cannot come back and say, let's invest in the youth of this area, but the infrastructure is not utilized efficiently. Thank you so much.
But I think the only laptop you provided us to this that I'm seeing here. 400 and this one? 434. 434 in school.
Is it for all teachers or only those who are teaching grade 12?
For the teachers, they are using these ones. This is the teacher one. As you can see, it's different. There's an HDMI port. The learner one, can I break your laptop with it? Can we just break it? You see, it's a beautiful laptop. You know, yeah. So per school we have given the 10 for the teachers and the numbers they have indicated for the learners. It's quite a lot of laptops. And we will be supporting in terms of maintenance. Should a laptop break, we are there as Telkom to ensure that we support.
And also, I was talking to the teachers and the managers. What about the very learners? What about you? Do you realize the support that is being provided to you? Are you using it maximally? You realize that next year we are on your own. We are on your own. But what about the skills you could have gained that will take you to your career? So we want to say to you, wonderful learners, please take your life serious. Take your life serious so that other people can take you serious as well. Because we cannot be pushing you to say, hey, tablet, where is your tablet? We are busy doing other things. We've forgotten about this. When I'm here at the school, at the man, at the once I enter the school, don't tell me stories. I want to see the performance of the learners. How are the learners progressing? Don't say, you know what, man, on that day, this was not clearly, explained. We still have it. Make it a point that today, all the things are cleared up. Because when we come with my DMT,
no English.
Thank you. Thank you, Director. Ellen, you want to talk about end to end for
Maybe for Alan, just addition to what the director said, it's also important that we have a buy-in of the community. Because we always, department and other companies invest in education. But if we're not going to involve the community in taking care of the resources that we have at school, it doesn't help. So let us go back and tell our brothers, sisters, uncles, everybody, guys, things that are at school is of our benefit. Yes. Don't go and steal and then sell them for milk or something else. Please, that's what we want.
So we have a campaign for all the learners. Every week, the top 2 learners who earn points on the system, they'll get a voucher. And then at the end of the year, we're hopefully getting a bigger prize for the top students. Probably maybe every term, the top students who gain across the country. How you gain points? You attend the classes, and also if you do the homework that's on the system. So there's a lot of past material. You go through the homework, complete the tasks that are on there, and then you'll earn some points. So every week we take the top students for that particular week. Yeah, and that's from across the country.
No, thank you for this. I think we are done here. It's my request to move to
day. Good day. I propose that we start with our program, and without any waste of time, I'm going to call upon Pastor Ntisa to come and open this gathering.
Le bagolo tate Jake ditumediso batho bohle ba le teng kwano ba o loketseng ke hlompho le bitsong le leholo la morena le mopholosi wa rona e leng Jesu Kriste. I just want to thank God ka go dumella go kopane o seng hona ka lebitso la morena Jesu Kriste wa Nazareta. A ke reng amen. Amen. Ke kopa o bala mona booking ya Revelation chapter number 3 verse number 8. It reads as follows: I know your works. See, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. See, I have set before you an open door, and no one can shut it. Before I pray in the next 5 minutes, I just wanna say something to you. We serve the God who is able to do far more exceedingly and abundantly above all we can think or imagine. So now here is Jesus declaring that we should open our eyes to see that an open door has been set or has been put before us by him. So he's talking to the reader to say, open your eyes and see that I have placed an open door before you. Watch this. It is not just the door, but it is an opened door. And here, because it is one thing to go to the door, and it is another thing when a door is being placed in front of you. So now the scripture is telling us that Jesus has placed an open door in front of us. And I came to decree and declare to beautiful learners and all of us who have gathered here this morning that the Lord has opened and has set before us an open door in front of us in the mighty name of Jesus. Now for us to enter in the door that has been opened, we must do what Paul talks about in the book of Philippians chapter number 3. He says, I choose to forget things that are behind, but I choose to press on towards the mark of the high price. And I've come to tell you this morning, a door that has been opened has been put and has been placed in front of you. When you go to the bank, especially those banks, you will find two doors, and you open the first one and you enter into the cubicle. Now in the cubicle there is another door in front of you which will never open until the one behind you closes. So the one behind you has got to close for the one that is in front of you to open. So I came to tell you, make sure that you have shut every door that is behind you, for the door that has been opened by the Lord, for you to be able to enter in it, in the mighty name of Jesus the Christ of Nazareth. Let's bow our heads as I pray. Our Father, we thank you and we pray in the name of Jesus. As mosebetsi ona sa tlo qala modimo ka ya halalelang, re a tseba ntate go qala ka ntle ho wena modimo ka lokileng ke kotsi, empa ho qala ha wena o so le teng modimo ka lokileng ke lehlohonolo. We thank you, Lord, for your presence in Jesus' mighty name. Thank you, Lord God Almighty, for guiding us through out in the name of Jesus the Christ of Nazareth. Father, I pray that each and everyone will stand on this platform and speak, Lord God Almighty. May they be used by you in Jesus' mighty name. Amen and amen. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Pastor Ntisa for the prayer and the scripture reading this morning. As we call upon the representative of the municipality for a word of welcome, we'll ask the school to lead us on the national anthem. May you all stand up as we are reading. We are going to sing the national anthem.
Sikeleli Afrika, malupaganisu pondoloyo, izwa imithandazo yethu, Nkosi sikelela thina lusapho lwayo, murena buluka sichaba sa Yesu, ufedise dintwali mazwenye, usibuluke sichaba sa Yesu, sichaba sa South Africa, South Africa. So they come together, and united we shall stand. Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land.
Thank you. We may all be seated. Over to you, David.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Let me start first by acknowledging the Department of Education, and let me acknowledge Telkom, Icasa, all the management of Department of Education and all the management of the institutions, and also let me acknowledge my colleagues, MMCs, which are present here. I stand here before you. My name is Councillor Kata Makatini, the MMC of IDP PMS Monitoring and Evaluation. I stand before you here today representing the Executive Mayor, Councillor Icasa-Dbe-Dcdt, who is caught up in another meeting, which is important, that came before the event. First of all, before I give my welcome speech, I would like to say happy birthday to the Executive Mayor of Dihlabeng, Councillor Icasa-Dbe-Dcdt, who is celebrating his birthday today. Foremost, I would like to say these touching words to my previous teachers from this school. As your learner, I would like to say thank you very much for your contribution. Here I am today because of you. Thank you. I'm happy to stand today here as a learner from this school. Now I come as a leadership of the community. As we have been presented, I then said to this other colleague, I said to them, us as the community leaders, we must make sure that this great equipment is protected. We must let the community know that whatever that is presented today, it tlo tswela bana ba bo rona molemo. One wonders how we may o sheba the kind of technology that is presented today. O batla go khutlela sekolo. Ke a ipotsa ke re hey, why di sa tla ka nako tsa rona mara dintho tsena? And let me try to encourage Telkom to say, please, can you please lately say that technology in the council. We are struggling. It tlo etsa mosebetsi wa ka o be bonolo because batho ba baholo be ke sebetsang le bona ba dula ba mpotsa when it comes to dintho tsa di agenda ho di isa kae ha di tla re di romella ka di emails. So can you please next time try to consider the Hlabeng local municipality. But other than that, as the leadership of the Hlabeng, we welcome every great thing that is happening, that is taking place today. Leske la fella mona, le tswele pele ka o thuseletsa tjhaba sa borona sa sesetso, re boulela bana ba borona, re boulela thuto haholo. Ke mo kgona re tleng ga emisa dintho tsohle, ra re tle kwano re tlo bontsha tsietso ya rona. Jwalo ka masepala wa Dihlabeng le amoeleile batho bohle ba sa duleng ka ru Dihlabeng. Dihlabeng ke tulo e monate ya peace. Ka ho ka matla e ke a kentsweng ke executive mayor ke rata o leboha haholo bile ke leboela le sekolo e ka re tse ding di katla tse ngata tse fetang tsena ke a leboha.
Re leboa ntate Mthimkhulu ka o emela masepala ka bokgabane. At this moment we call upon Icasa to give us the project background.
Kelebo Program Director, Telkom SA. Kelebo hape le ba lefapha la DCDT, Department of Communications and Digital Technologies. Kelebo he lefapha la Education la Free State, le National Department of Basic Education. Ladies and gentlemen, today it is an auspicious occasion indeed. Telkom have brought us all together here to witness their handover and launch of the virtual classroom solution to the school located them in the Free State. However, at the outset, it is important to set out a background and the roadmap of how we have arrived here today. And today we are at Tiisetsang High School, and the other school is in Putadichaba. Now let me give a bit of a background as to how this has come about. The Department of Communications and Digital Technologies, formerly Department of Telecommunications, published the Electronic Communications Postal and Broadcasting Directions. That was on the 26th of March 2020. It was at the height of COVID-19, which was the directions were closely followed by the state of natural disaster that was declared, with the attendant hard lockdown that ensued and lasted for a period of about 2 months. In the initial days of the onset and full impact of COVID-19, normal life, including teaching and learning, literally came to an abrupt halt due to the pandemic. There was no schooling taking place for a period of about 2 months. To say that the pandemic was a wolf thrown among the sheep, that would be an understatement. It was a whole new 360-degree change in a manner we were yet to experience in 100 years. And on change, let me quote at this stage our great icon Nelson Mandela, and he said, Education is the most powerful weapon which we can use to change the world. And Telkom is doing their part to ensure that our learners have full access to education they need to change that world. The direction from the DCT also read further to say the electronic communication services licenses, which is among them Telkom, the electronic communications network services license with access to high demand spectrum must make available connectivity to 143 virtual classroom platforms with minimum speeds of 10 megabytes per second to support virtual learning during COVID-19 national disaster. So on the 6th of April 2020, the authority published the Information and Communications Technology National Disaster Regulations, wherein radio frequency spectrums were allocated to licensees like Telkom. Now, the purpose of the temporary spectrum assignments was to alleviate or to lessen the network challenges, to ease congestion, and ensure good quality of service for the consumer out there as well as our learners. There were 5 successful applicants who were assigned spectrum in the various bands, and Telkom is one of them. The others were Liquid Telecommunications Operations, Mobile Telecommunications Network, which is MTN, Rain, and Vodacom. Now, later the authority announced the licensees who were assigned the frequency. And then among the other things the authority has said was that the authority, Icasa, the licensee shall connect district virtual classroom platform to support virtual learning during the COVID-19 national disaster, which shall be determined by the authority after the consultation with the relevant departments of education and the DCT and communications. Now, the connectivity must be at a speed of no less than 10 megabytes. And that the licensee must provide the hardware, software required for the provision of connectivity to all district virtual classroom platforms allocated by the authority, and Telkom is one of them. Now, the specifications for hardware and software shall be determined by the authority after consultation with the licensee and the relevant departments responsible for education and communications. The installation of the hardware, software, and connectivity must be done by the licensee like Telkom, and which is what they have done, and which is why we are here today. The licensee, which is Telkom, must maintain the network connection in line with the radio requirements on service provision as published for the duration of this license. The licensee must provide the above service free of charge for the duration of this license. Ownership of the deployed solution, hardware and software, shall pass to the Department of Education on completion of installation by the licensee. Now, Telkom itself was allocated 4 schools for the project in 2 different provinces as follows. Kola Tuto, Tiisetsang, where we are today, Kubuluazi Combined Secondary, and Metula, in both of them are in Mpumalanga, and we were there last week on the 9th of June. When it comes to implementation, the authority received the virtual classroom distance learning size by the DBE, which is the Department of Basic Education, for the implementation of the 2020 Grade 12 Intervention Program. It also provided where the specification is determined by the DBE and the DCDT. Now, the authority's role, which is Icasa, would be to ensure compliance by all licensees, and Telkom is one of those. Following further consultations and engagements with the authority, the DCDT and the operators, the licensee, including Telkom, the DBE revised the number of schools for the project to 17 schools. The DBE did indicate the rollout would in fact be a pilot to determine the viability of the solution. The authority held consultative process with licensees, including Telkom, the DBE, and to discuss the specifications as well as related concerns regarding the solution. Upon revising the approach from a full rollout to a pilot, the specification indicated that ideally it should be an end-to-end solution with the following characteristics: connectivity, devices for learners, training for teachers, data packages where the learner does not bear the cost, central location, that is, each of the schools will isolate and allocate 1 classroom from where the solution will be provided, as well as the hosting environment. The authority, in conjunction with the DBE, it would assist where possible regarding access by licensees, including Telkom, to the schools in the DC allocated them. Any pressing matters of concern will be dealt with each licensee as far possible individually, as far as the authority is concerned. Licensees, including Telkom, that were assigned with temporary radio spectrum in April, they would have the obligation to maintain the network connectivity for the virtual classroom for a period of 17 months from the launch of the virtual classroom solution. The calculation of the 17 months was because licensing received spectrum in April, and the maintenance of the obligation should therefore be linked to the period they have access to and derive benefit from the spectrum. Now, Telkom, in their electronic invite to today's event, indicated that, open quotes, they are dedicated to the upliftment of disadvantaged communities through greater connectivity and investment in education. And the wording further goes on to say, in partnership with the Department of Basic Education, Icasa, Department of Communication and Digital Technologies, they are unveiling their virtual classroom solution at 4 South African high schools between 9 and 15 June 2022. The first 2 schools, as I've indicated, was last week on the 9th of June in Mpumalanga, Foxcrest. And their message went on to say, Telkom is expected to empower 1,100 learners and 30 teachers with the ICT schools and devices to thrive in an increasingly virtual world. In conclusion, the authority would like to encourage Telkom to see through its commitment to the virtual classroom solution, the 2 schools in Mpumalanga province, and that it will support as well as assist when necessary, and that the learners will derive maximum benefit from the initiative. Thank you, Mr. Program Director. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. That was Icasa. And at this moment, we call upon Telkom Foundation to give us the presentation of the solution. Are you okay? Thank you, DJ. We call upon Department of Communication and Digital Technologies for a message of support. Thank you, DJ. Over to you.
Ke a leboga dumelang kaofela. Recognizing the local leadership, leadership of the 2 schools or schools that are here, leadership from provincial education, leadership from Telkom, and all stakeholders that are involved, including CASA and other partners who provided the solution to the school. All protocols observed. Na ke nna Peter Mello, sefane sa ka ke Mello, mare ke Mello Mopedi, not Mosotho, Northern Sotho. So ke Chief Director for the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies, previously known as Department of Communication. I think my colleague has provided a very comprehensive background about this particular initiative. Indeed, on the 23rd of March 2020, the President made a clarion call to say, having declared the national disaster, to say, let all private sector and public sector come together and assist us, support government, support our communities, support our learners, our educators during the hard time of lockdown when we first realized the COVID condition on the 11th of March when he started in KZN. He called upon all companies to come on board, and this is the result of what we are seeing today. Telkom connecting school. As the department, we had to write a policy directive in terms of the required legislation. Today, the school having a virtual classroom. We are saying we're thankful on the good side and the appreciation part. But on a lighter note, I'm saying to Telkom, this project was supposed to have been implemented in July 2020. I am the project management officer of this program. I've been lashed by Parliament in my presentation to say that in the department, we have written a legislate that is not implementable. But I'm happy today. Hence, I made an effort to come. I couldn't make it go Mpumalanga last week. To come and witness the law that we've put down. Ultimately, it is being obeyed. Ultimately, the President's clarion call is being observed and implemented. And I'm happy, and I'm saying very much thank you to Telkom for acknowledging that our learners need to be digitized. Our learners need to be moved from the previous industrial revolution to the fifth one. We are far from even the third industrial revolution. People are saying we are moving to the fourth. Countries such as China and others, fifth industrial revolution, whereby people are able to talk without opening their mouth because of the technology. To our learners, the virtual school classroom in Zumuskulu Manawaka, make full use of it. The director has indicated to the class that we visited, we want to see impact that the technology is bringing. The technology is not only bringing social communication or uplifting your social media platforms. Mara, ili tusa hore, you become innovative. The internet that is at the school, the system that has been installed will assist you to connect with the world. Do research, Banabak. As much as you want, the data that has been provided by Telkom, it's unlimited. Meaning, there is no excuse to say the school Kapawatsadi must buy your data or data bundles. We want to see you bridging the digital divide, because the future by bridging the digital divide, Rona Rekhotsi in eras the second industrial revolution, whereby we cooked Revergisa Mashallah. Hence I'm saying we are not on the fifth, on the fourth, because there are some people who are still using Mashallah for Ezadiju. So I'm saying to Banabak, make sure that you utilize this equipment. Make sure that you develop, you do what we call research and development extensively, especially grade 12s, as from next year, you are not on your own. The technology should support you to be able to advance and further education, whatever career way is. Without being digital, Badabak is going to be difficult. Everything is done digitally. As we are speaking, the world has moved to digital. Blessing in disguise, COVID-19, it's fast tracking to be digital. Lorona, as we are here, we are not yet full working physically office. We are working virtual because the world has gone virtual. We are able to interact. Hence, these platforms should assist you to interact with other students in China who are designing things so that tomorrow that we are going to make the country proud. We are ranked number 57 in terms of ICT skills in the whole country. We used to be number 37. We have been overtaken by other countries, such as Kenya, where it's holding in Africa, number 1 in Africa. Mo Africa re number 3. Currently, we're number 17. Re fetile ke Uganda, re fetile ke Kenya, re fetile ke Nigeria. But it was because of investment that the countries made more education ka these technologies. It's an enabler ya hore le itse go achieve whatever that you aspire to achieve, being career-wise. I'm talking about career-wise. Therefore, we are thankful for Telkom and other mobile network operators that are still left to come. Motabung Futsanye District Municipality and other local municipalities, Mo Free State, to do the same. And we are saying, the president actually gave us a target, Hori. No, it can't be 2 schools only. It will be more schools. What happened? End of March, after Icasa finalized your spectrum center to Icasa na Buagason, my colleague from Icasa. Therefore, we will be going forward obliged to ensure that all these operators that have been given spectrum by law connector the all schools in Free State. So this is the beginning. And why I'm saying more, it's good that it's happening most schools are on us today. Kohoro lona bato benchmark ka lena bana ba mba dikolo. Velkomo, Kronstata, wherever ko balong ko teng. Batla ba itse gona le the virtual class that has been implemented kwa Bethlehem. So ba ile thuta ka lona. Whenever that solution comes ko bona, they should be able to interact the lona. You must go back and teach them. Lele go high, lele ka motlaseng, lele wherever ko leng ko teng. If you are sick, ngwanaka, the virtual platform is saying you can attend class until go high as long as o sa disturb mo matlong ko kapa e. O tsere ke flu o sa tla sekolo. You can still follow the educator. You can go back and replay as much as little replay go YouTube. It's the same. So I'm saying I'm thankful today. I'm one of the a proud public servant today to see the legislator that we have penned down. It's a hal. And I'm proud to say, even in our next report to Parliament, when we accompany the minister, these 2 schools will be reported to Parliament to say, indeed, the legislation that we've put, President and members of Cabinet and Parliament, it is happening. Banaba solution. To educators, I'm saying, here's the solution. Luluna, in terms of education administration, maximize the system itself so that it assists you to be able to deliver educational content to ban. The content is digitized, but as we have said on the previous class, it will begin kalona batsadi ba rona to bana go iberekisa so that le bana ba ka ba confident to use this particular platform. But more so, the impact, I see how bana ba ithutang ka teng. The impact, I see the percentage, higher percentage, I pass rate, matric. But the impact, the change it makes to our learners, kamus, the solution that we brought today. It's not about 100% matric pass rate, but it's about what is going to happen after post 2022. Next year, 5 January, 16 January, when results are released, it's fine, percentage is fine. But what is going to happen? Did it change their life? Did it make them able to access the health online, the education, the social online, the home affairs online? So it must make that impact rather than making a theoretical impact. So the message of support, as I'm here for the message of support, but because I'm excited, hence I'm dwelling back into the history to show and reflect and be happy to see the legislature being implemented. We are saying, we support you. Anytime from the department, we have set aside some funds which we are waiting for National Treasury to approve, to expand connectivity to other schools, including some Bethlehem. We have already connected 99 schools with internet connectivity. It is sad to see the state of our digital connectivity in schools, especially via e-learning. 2020, International International Telecommunication Union, ITU, in partnership with OECD, did a research, and in that research, it was very sad to see that 33% of the 23 billion learners in the 23 billion in the whole world do not have access, not a minimum, do not have access to internet or to some sort of connectivity. And so said that it said 51% in South Africa, of all learners in South Africa, do not have access to internet. But we are happy when we see this kind of initiative being implemented. We are moving forward, we are going forward, not going backwards. But it is our ultimate goal as government to ensure that the policy that we derived in 2013 by which South Africa Connect, alone it has been delayed. It needs to be implemented. And I'm happy that the spectrum auction has happened. Money might be made available in proviso that the president approves it and Treasury allocates money so that we can fast track this connectivity. By now we should have seen the policy that we have set. We said by 2016 all schools should have connectivity. But 2016 is 2022, by 6 years, we are still sitting connected virtually 2022, while the policy is 2016. So we'll try and we'll work hard with our leadership, both from local, from the province, and other national sister department, the basic education and other sister department to fast track what we say it's connectivity of school, not only bringing a pipe, but end to end, where Lilena on the demand side. Thank you, Telkom, once again. We appreciate and your support and the companies that you have partnered with in providing the solution. Do best, even outside the law. Just go to fail. Come to Bethlehem. Identify a community that the council was talking about. Their offices. Out of no law, no nothing. Just say, within our CSI program, we can identify one youth center and train those youth and provide connectivity for the municipality office so that the councillors, the local leadership, are able to interact with the community. Thank you a lot, and thanks a lot to the leadership. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the message of support. And as we are calling the school for orientation, we will be now calling the two learners from the two schools for a word of appreciation. We are now calling the beneficiaries, the learners from the two schools, to come and give a word of appreciation. Over to the school choir.
Let me greet you all, Icasa stakeholders, Telkom, Department of Education, teachers and everyone present, all protocol observed. Let me take the privilege given and not waste any time and do as requested and give thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, our education system has been threatened for different generations, but it is only up to us what we do with regards to that. For example, the apartheid era and the COVID-19 pandemic, of which we all know the perplexed impact it has had on us and our education. A wise man once said that the principle we live by create the world in which we live in. Meaning, if you change your principles of living, you are literally changing your world. The Icasa program, the initiatives, meaning the people who started this program, clearly have created their own principle, which is turning their challenges that we live in into a learning and development stepping stones, and introducing digital learning, and we guarantee it that there is no value that can be attached to the return of investment that they are going to yield. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any more time, in conclusion, both schools which are to benefit from this program should grab this opportunity with both hands and shape their future through this program. And let us make these stakeholders which sacrificed their resources proud. Let us go digital, ladies and gentlemen, as we have entered the era of technology. Thank you very much.
Honorable Director, Department officials, all Telkom officials, and all attentive listeners, I greet you all. My name is Tiisetsang Secondary, and I stand here on behalf of the mighty establishment, Tiisetsang. We are very grateful for the opportunity that Telkom has given us, the opportunity to access internet freely, the opportunity to access enhanced education, the opportunity to increase our chances of academic success. From the utilization of a blackboard, which can be dated back in the ancient times, to the utilization of laptops, routers, and other gadgets. Then from learning inside the cold classrooms during the winter season, to learning from the comfort of our homes. So the project has had a very significant impact on our lives. With the access of laptops, we are able to increase our computer literacy skills. With the access of internet, we are able to apply at different institutions, the higher institutions of learning, and we are able to access other platforms of learning. In summary, I could say that the project has enhanced our abilities. We as Tiisetsang, the mighty establishment, we are saying that it has enhanced our mightiness. Before I could finish, personally, I would like to say this project is an investment. If we look carefully in the current state of our country, there's a higher demand of digital jobs. So with the acquired skills, the computer skills I was referring to, we are able to fill the gap. So I would like to thank Telkom and other stakeholders for giving us a chance to witness the power of technology in our hands. Thank you.
Yeah. This is what makes me happy, Director. Seeing our learners expressing themselves very freely, because at times we tend to doubt their intelligence. And if we give them that opportunity, they are always there to show us that they know. And Director, I think God has a plan for everything. And it just happens that the two schools have been given the same opportunity, and the very same two schools are also representing the province on Motsepe Foundation. They are the winners in the province. And I am very much encouraged that towards the end of 2022, these learners will be able to give Telkom an opportunity to look back at their work and say, this is good. And without any waste of time, I'll request our Director, Mayor Baso, to present our Chief Director, Ndate Ramgele.
Thank you very much, Program Director, Tate Sijake. My greetings go to all colleagues who are in here and our learners. You know, standing here, I'm so encouraged, Chief Director, National, that really this support will really make a great change in our learners. These are our future leaders. We want to see them succeeding no matter what. Because as we are here, we are just preparing them for future. We know that as soon as they exit the system, the real life begins. So we want them to face that life well prepared. I would like to call on the stage our Chief Director, Ntate Ramu Eletsi. Ntate Ramu Eletsi, with your support from the province, we are saying, as the district of Thabo Mfutshanyane, we are not going to let this province down. Thank you very much. Let's welcome Ntate Ramu Eletsi.
Thank you, Program Director. Let me also take this opportunity to appreciate the presence of Telkom, Schoolnet, Icasa, the Department of Communication and Digital Technology, DBE, also the Office of the Executive Mayor and all the representatives from that office, our Pastor Ntisa, officials of the department from head office, from the district office, circuit managers, our two principals and their educators, and lastly our beautiful learners. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please acknowledge the apology of our Honorable MEC and HOD. Usually in government on Wednesdays, they host their exco. So they are representing us at that meeting. And the Chief Director responsible for e-learning, unfortunately, is not part of this activity because he's overseas. So as the Chief Director responsible for performance, oversight, and corporate support, I supervise ICT, and I always work together with the Chief Director for e-learning, so I'm quite familiar with the space of e-learning. Earlier on, I'm sure you heard from the representative of Icasa and the Department of Communication and Digital Technology that government has taken a decision to bridge the digital gap amongst the citizens of this country. They even shared with you the stats in terms of exposure of our citizens to internet as compared to their counterparts in the continent. So there is commitment now that I've observed to connect all departments or all public institutions in the next 3 years. Just to bring it home, government has different departments. We are in the Department of Education. We have our own core business, which is teaching and learning. So there is a department called the Department of Communication and Digital Technology. They are responsible for the business of connecting. They deal with connectivity. So you'll now understand why the representative of the department says he's so excited that finally the legislation is being implemented. Since 2016, there's been a mandate or an instruction that public institutions, when we talk about public institutions, we are not only talking about Department of Education, their schools and their offices. We are talking about all government buildings. You know, your hospitals, your clinics, your municipal offices, in that. There is an expectation and an instruction that all these public institutions should be connected through internet. And the mandate resides with the Department of Communication and Digital Technology. So we are beneficiaries as the Department of Education. Our business is not connectivity. Our business is teaching and learning. They have been given an instruction to provide that connectivity to us to enhance our business, which is teaching and learning. So we are equally excited more so that it looks like their new minister is doing something, you know, some magic. And we need to support her in ensuring that the mandate that was given since 2016 is now about to be implemented. So we are going to watch with interest if indeed in the next 3 years, counting from this financial year, that in the next 3 years, all our schools, because we are in education, all our schools are indeed connected. There is that instruction, and at the pace that we are about to start, we hope that 3 years later, all our schools will be connected and connected efficiently so. But you can put on record that at least on phase 1 of SA Connect, in this particular district, 99 schools are already connected by that department. So some work has already been done. But the commitment is that in the next 3 years, all schools will be connected. Therefore, it will be easier for us to do our business now as a Department of Education. And it will not only be a plus to us, it will be a plus to all government institutions, all departmental offices, for us to be connected and do our business. The Education Department has adopted its own ICT framework strategy, and it has its own priorities. Maybe just to also, as a way of clarifying, in the Department of Education, we have ICT as a directorate, and we have e-learning. More often than not, people are confusing the two. That the ICT directorate, it's like any ICT directorate in government. It works within a particular framework that is designed and approved by Department of Public Service and Administration, Department of Digital Technology. But because we are in education, we have also e-learning, which is a means for us to provide teaching and learning in a digital way. So this business of today is at the core of e-learning. And those of us from ICT are given that necessary support. So the framework strategy of the department looks first and foremost at teacher development. Earlier on, we talked about the readiness of our teachers to participate in this program. I heard what work has been done, but the advice always would be ICT is something foreign to those of my age group. And if not taken care of at this age group, we're going to frustrate all these, good intentions. So the way we work in the Department of Education, you would have your teachers in schools supporting learners directly. They are our contact to learners. So for those who don't work within our environment, they will always prioritize teachers in terms of training for anything new introduced in our environment. The same way it has happened now. Teachers have been trained. But there is no way that district can provide a support on something that they don't know themselves. So we would have to find a way, when we talk about teacher development, it should not be limited only to teachers. These teachers are being supported by district office and head office subject advisors. So they too must understand this thing that is being introduced in schools so that they can provide that necessary support to teachers. Inclusive support, not a support that would exclude this one, you know. So if we are to monitor whether learners and educators are using this platform, I heard earlier on in our discussions someone saying they will come to the school and check. You know, it says a lot. That statement says a lot. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. Eh? Yeah, if you have to come here to check whether there is usage, then it calls upon urgent intervention that we need to take district office officials who are supporting schools, our circuit managers, our subject advisors, to understand what this thing is all about and how to integrate it in their daily work of supporting schools. Then when they monitor, they would now know where we have LMS, you don't have to go to the school to monitor. You log in. So, ka bokhutsanyane ke batla hore bothata ke rona, gore rona re mathata. And please don't blame us. We still have to learn so many things. I usually tell my colleagues, those that I'm supervising, that I'm supervising them, but I'm not from the background of ICT. I'm just a manager. So I'll apply my tools, but I won't risk on certain things that are ICT related because I'm not familiar with the Ajegol there. So if we are to do teacher development in this context, we would have to do it the way it is structured and the way the system is familiar with, which is, as I said, your subject advisors and everyone supporting schools, knowing what this thing is all about and how does it work. The second thing that is in our framework is the digital content. It will not help us to have a platform without the necessary digital content. And I'm happy that some work is being done in that regard. Then another one in the framework, the third one, it's ICT devices. Without these devices, you would have this Rolls-Royce platform. You won't do anything with it. You need devices to access it. We have been challenged earlier on, and we still have a lot of work to do as a department around devices. Then the last one is connectivity. You may have the teachers, your subject advisors trained. You may have your infrastructure. You may have your devices. If you don't have the means to connect, you will still not benefit. So those are the priorities of the department in terms of the framework. So we made a commitment that with all our limited resources, as we implement all these priorities, we'll phase them in over a period of 3 years, following how our schools are quintiled, starting with the most poorest of the poor, which will be your quintile 1, 2, 3, and on your outer years, finalize with quintile 4 and 5. So for those who are quite familiar with our province, we have 5 districts, and our province is fairly rural. We are a rural province. And the distance between head office and some towns is more than 360 km, single trip. So all Bloemfontein, Memel, you are going to drive almost 400 single case, 400 case, single trip. So if you are expected to go and provide support there, you are going to drive 400 k's just to go. When you arrive there, the school is out. So you'll have to sleep over. And the next day, just to go and support that particular local. So it is costly for head office and district officials to do the business they're expected to do, which is to keep contact with learners and educators on daily basis, providing that basic service. So it is only through technology that it can be possible for them to render this service, be in contact with learners and educators on daily basis. Through technology, that is possible. But in the current arrangement where you must first drive, it's not possible for any circuit manager to round up all the allocated schools within a week. They will tell you it's possible looking at the distance. Earlier on, we were reminded on the effect of COVID. It exposed us to the known reality that we have our affluent schools with all the resources, and the ones that I referred to, the quintile 1, 2, and 3, which are no fee-paying schools with little resources. And during hard lockdown, our quintile 1, 2, and 3 schools lost complete contact with their educators. So the department alone, with its line budget, may not be able to provide all the ICT priorities to all educators and learners. Like I indicated, we are a poorer province. The budget of Free State Department of Education may not alone manage to cover all these needs of our ICT environment. So partnerships is the way to go if we are to overcome this limitation. The e-learning and ICT landscape is not yet fully exploited in this province. We still have many barriers to overcome. Amongst others, is providing laptops to teachers. We have close to 22,000 teachers. And it is expected that all of them must have laptops by yesterday. Provide all learners with tablets, all of them with tablets. Use ICT integration to teach all the subjects. That's where the world is going. All the subjects. All our teachers should be able to teach all the subjects through ICT integration. Then train all these educators together with the office-based educators on the basic ICT skills and digital provision. Automate all our admin systems. Zero rate the education program. That is something that colleagues would have to work on seriously. On how do you zero rate all these education platforms. I'm happy with what Telkom has done, and they are already putting the right foot forward, and others would have to follow, or else they will be overtaken by events. And provide connectivity to all offices and schools. So it is only through this investment and partnerships like this one that majority of our schools can equally participate in the 4IR. I know we are still behind, but it's up there for IR, and we want to participate. This Telkom Foundation project will be the first real virtual classroom we will have as a department. And this will give the department an opportunity to explore more value of this virtual classroom concept. We know about virtual classroom, can read about it, but it doesn't exist in our space. This will be the first one. Therefore, there is a responsibility, the district director and head office officials, that we come here and explore what this thing is all about, understand it, and see how best to expand this to the benefit of majority of our educators and learners. There is an expectation, because it is now benefiting only the grade 12s, there is an expectation that at least in these two schools, how do we see to it that other grades are integrated or incorporated? Our learners will now have more access to information and different presenters. You are not confined only now to your teacher. You'll be able to explore other presenters through these platforms. But as learners, you individually and collectively have a responsibility to protect everything you have received in the interests of your next cohort. You must remember that you are given this opportunity. But all these gadgets, they still have to be shared with your next cohort. You are already on your exit. Take care of them for the sake of those who are coming after you. As a Department of Education, our approach to ICT is that of enhancement. It must enhance the work that teachers are doing. That's why I said it is very critical for teachers to be supported. There's no way that we can replace ICT, replace teachers with ICT. Teachers are there to enhance. You know, ICT is just there to enhance the work that teachers are doing. It may not be easy for all teachers and managers to embrace ICT integration in teaching, but through dedicated change management programs, all shall eventually come on board. The seed has been planted, and the immediate expectation from these schools will be how to accommodate other grades into the project and extend the platform to the benefit of all learners, either in this particular district or the whole province. Earlier on, I heard from Telkom that the capacity is enough for all our learners. And I'm going to hold them to that commitment. We collectively have different responsibilities to perform. In the main, we will focus on maintenance and security of what has been provided to us. Without maintenance and security, expansion of this program or this project will be a pipe dream. Our educators and learners will be exposed to extensive ICT integration training with immediate effect. District and head office will plan on how to efficiently use this infrastructure to the benefit of more learners. We call upon school community to do everything in their power to protect this investment. It's your investment. We trust that all stakeholders, including the municipality, will continue to support our schools. It is only through education that prospects of development and eradication of poverty can be achieved. Let me, on behalf of the Department of Education, Free State, thank Icasa, Telkom Foundation, Department of Communication and Digital Technology, DBE, officials from head office and the district, our school community, our principals, our educators, our pastor and the choir, and everyone who's assembled here. As a Department of Education, we once more commit that this investment is a good gesture from Telkom, and we have full responsibility to utilize it optimally to the benefit of our learners. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our Chief Director, for the keynote address. Can we give him another round of applause? As we will be calling upon the SGB of the school for closing and also giving announcements. If there are any announcements, we will request our choir again to give us a rendition. Actually, it will be a pleasure, choir conductor, that you give us two songs that you won with provincial.
Dumelang. E re ke nke monyetla ona ke lebohe Ntate Sejake, motsamaisi wa mosebetsi. Nna ka lebitso ke Tiisetso Mokoena, ke nna modulasetulo wa SGB mona Tiisetsang. E re ke nke monyetla ke lebohe bohle ba nkileng karolo letsatsing lena. Ho mosebetsi ona o moholo hakana o e leng hore o tlo re bonahatsa lefatshe ka bophara le Afrika ena mmoho le South Africa. Ke lebohe Ntate Sejake ka moo a na tsamaisa mosebetsi ka teng, le Ntate Ntisa ha na bula jwalo ka thapelo. Ke batla hore ke lebohe hape Telkom ka ho tlisa program ena kapa project ena e ntse e thusana le Icasa South Africa. Ba tlisitse diphethoho maphelong a bana le ho rona ba tlisitse diphethoho. Re tshepa hore ho tloha hana jwale maphelo a rona a tlo fetoha le a bana a tlo fetoha, haholo lehlakoreng la thuto ya hana jwale le e tlang, hobane rona ne re holela thutong yane ne ntse re ngola, re bona hana jwale o so tla thetswa fela ntho di tsamaye. So re lebohe Telkom le Icasa ka kopanelo ka program ena kaofela e tlisitseng ho tla hlalefisa baahi ba dihlabeng, baahi ba Thabo Mfutsanyana le ba South Africa, le hore le rona re kgone ho tswela pele re tsebe ho atamela bo China, re tsebe ho atamela dinaha tse bang di pele kwana. Ke nke monyetla hape re lebohe council ya dihlabeng ka ho tla kwano o tla re tshehetsa ho bontsha hore ke bona batsamaisi le baetapele ba rona ka hara council. Ka mehla re lla mona Tiisetsang re na le mathata kapa ha re lla re le sekolo, dihlabeng ke yona e tlang e matha haholo, e tlang e tlo re thusa e bona hore na sello sa rona se hlakola jwang, haholoholo mme councillor Sophie Jacobs. Ka nnete e la ba pilara ya rona Tiisetsang mona ka nako e telele, re bona le jwale ke yona o teng o ntsa re tsheheditse ka mokgwa o le mong, a ntsa re tataisa jwalo fela. Ke a leboha mme ka tshehetso eno ya hao. Ke ntse ke leboha le dihlabeng kaofela e le jwalo moifo o tlileng kwano o rongwetsweng ke majoro ofising ya hae le di-official tsa hae. Ke lebohe hape our district director Mema Mabaso. Mema Mabaso ka nnete o entse mosebetsi o moholo hore tsena tsohle di tle Tiisetsang kwano, re tlo bona diphethoho ka hare ho Bethlehem le ka hare ho bohlokong. Community ya dihlabeng kaofela ha yona le bohlokong, mme re proud haholo ka taba ena e etsahetseng, ebile re ikotla sefuba ka wena hore ka nnete ne se ka wena le bohle ba bang ba o tsheheditse, ne tlameha ebe monyetla o no mokana re o fumana ka hare ho Bethlehem ka hare dihlabeng. Sena sohle o no di etsa mmoho le team ya hao kaofela ya district, ke sentse ke leboha le yona boteng ba yona kwano kaofela. Ke lebohe hape our chief director provinceng kwana Department of Education, le yona ne itisitse letsoho haholo ho bontsha hore thuto ena ya digital e tla ho rona ka mokgwa o hantle, e tla ho rona ka mokgwa e leng hore re se re le ready hore jwale ka nnete re ka fetela bohatong bo latelang. Ba tlo etsa bonnete ba hore di-resources tsohle di teng, ntho e nngwe le nngwe e teng hore ntho ena e tswele pele. Ba tla ntsha di-official tsohle mane provinceng ho bontsha hore project ena ba batla ho e tshehetsa ka hohle hohle hore e kgone ho tswela pele, re tswele molemo, e tswele le bana molemo ba teng kwano le rona community le SGB ka ho otlolloha. Re a o leboha Ntate Chief Director mmoho le team ya hao ho tla kwano ho tshehetsa district ena ya rona, le ho tla kwano o tla re bontsha hore boetapele bo teng, ha le a bua fela ka nnete. Re a le leboha Ntate Chief Director. Ke boele ke lebohe hape department ya communication kwana national ke utlwile ntate a re ke mollo kapa ke mello hona mono ke tshepa rona bua ka puo ya Nasepedi jwale nna ke bua ka Sesotho ke tla re ke mollo se go le buile ntate ka nnete le taba tseno kaofela tse o di tlisitseng ho bontsha hore ke kgokahano ho tloa kwana national ho tla kwano provinceng lo tla districting lo tla local mona ke ntho e neheletsanwang ke ka hona ha ntho ena ebile success mema ba baso hobane ne re neheletsana ntho ena kaofela ho fihlela ba fihla ho mme lempe e ba fihla mona ho rona ka mokgwa wa bonahala hore communication ke ntho e kgolo ke ntho e leng hore re tlameha re isitle ho yona hobane lefatshe ke ke bela kgona ho tsamaya kapa la kgona hore le develop ntle le communication ke ntho ya pele ho eng kapa eng e qala fatshe mona ho rona re le bana re le baithuti hore na communication ke eng so re a leboha lefapha la communication ho nationally ke ntate manana ntsa a presenter re a leboha ntate le ka nako e tlang o nno re tsheetse jwalo ha re o bitsa nnotle o ska nna romela motho re a leboha ntate re tshepa hore ka nnete ditaba tsena tse re di bonang mona ho ya ka ntate wa communication re tla di bona ho marangrang di tla hlaya ho di Facebook ho di Twitter ho di kae o bontsha hore Tiisetsang e se le maemong a hodimo haholo e maemong a ilong hore jwale re se re ka computer le mafatshe a mang so ka nnete re a leboha ntate wa communications ke sa le hona mo hape ke batla ho leboha hona mona ho ntate fela sare ha ke fihlile ntate ya sa ipoletse ntate ya tlileng ka this initiative ena ya program ena kaofela ntate ya la tla ka ntho ena kaofela hore no ala approacha Telkom approacha Icasa hore no ntho ke ena ha re kenyeng hore e tle kgone ho kena ka hare ho bana kapa ka hara di community hore e tle kgone hore today ha re bua e be re bua ka yona ke rata ho leboha ntate mane a ke sa hopola lebitso la hae o itse ke mamme ntate a tlileng ka this idea ntate mane ke la ka fihla la ta ka fumana sa a ipoletse ke a leboha ntate re leboha haholo ntate ka this initiative ena ile wa tla ka yona kapa ka this ideology ena kaofela hore no o kgone ho ntshetsa dikolo pele le bophelo ba rona kaofela re kgone ho tswela pele ke batla ho leboha hape Tiisetsang staff kaofela ke bue ka matitjhere le di supporting staff ke lebohe hape le mme lempe ha le staff sa hae ka mokgwa la tsamaisa dintho tsena ka teng ho bontsha hore ka nnete mme ha eba le tshwarane kaofela re tsamaisa ntho ena kaofela tswele pele re tla e bona mmoho le Tiisetsang SGB ska boteng ba rona kwano hore ntho ena re tshwarane kaofela mme lempe re tsamang kaofela re tlo fumana katleho re tlo fumana mane me elong hore ha mme mabaso le ntate chief director ba khutla ba tla mona ba fumane tswelo pele e le hantle ba ska nna ba rena ebe mola ho ntso ho etsahalang ha hona di khulano kapa dingangisano re lebohe le khwaya ya rona e binneng ha monate haholo ka nnete khwaya rona e binne ha monate haholo ho ka nnete ke bonang ile a tsukutla mme mama ba so hampe ka bona ntsa a hae kha ke se bona hae kha ya kae mme mama ba so na hae ka nnete koloi ena bona go ya msia hobane khwaya ya rona ka nnete di maka mme mama ba so ile a di etsa kwa ya di etsa le Bloemfontein hape ha ile tjena mme so re tshepa hore le national kwana e tlo etsa di maka e tlo di sia fela di le tjena ene o tla bolo hona kwana ntse o tsa mapla bona o ntse o hae kha le bona re a leboha mme mama baso ke leboha bohle ba teng ke leboha hape le baeti ba teng ka jeno ba kwano mona sekolo sa Khola Thuto se teng kwano. Re a leboha ka nnete ka ho tla ha lona kwano ho bontsha hore re tlo kopanela program ena mmoho kaofela ka nnete re a leboha haholo ntate principal ho itswe ke ntate Mokoena. Jwale ilare ha o thwe ka nnete principal ke ntate Mokoena ka be se ntse ke tshwarana mono ke Mokoena ke a tseba o tla se kganna sekolo sena se tshware ke tshepa jwalo ke tabena o le mmoho hore ba Kwena ha ba ka be ba faile ke a tseba ba tsamaya pele ke a leboha ka dintlha tsohle kaofela tse bang di teng ke lebohe bohle ba nkileng karolo ntate Sejake our second manager sector ena ke ya hao ebile re a leboha ka nnete ka boikitlaeletso bona bohle kaofela le ditaba tse teng kaofela ke a leboha batswadi.
Ke a leboha ke kopa le re fe ntate Mokoena matsoho hape. Ntate Mokomotwana, ntate Kgothatso, ke a kgolwa jwale se lena le that feeling. Ntate Mokomotwana o tla fetisetsa molaetsa ho ntate Zim hore na this is second one. Ke second one ke second one ke re all right wa tseba second one director ke yane e itseng they will always try to provide world class customer service so sentse re qadile ntwena ya national chief director Ramoeletsi kore ke tlwaelo e mading maobane ne re ba utlwisa hape national sekolo se se ntlas mona se winne se tlo fumana kitchen ya boleng ba 750,000 so ntate Qagiso I was not opening a can of worms ne ke mpa fela ke le fidisa fela hore le ka ra second one re leboela letsatsi lena la bohlokwa me re fitlile pheletsong ya kopano ya rona me di ashara tsa rona di tla director baeti ba rona hore na ba ya ho kae ba lakatsang ho utlwa hore na choir ya rona ibina ha monate ha kae ba tle ba ntse ba le ka mona le baeti ba tlo salang ka mona ba mamele ditaba tse monate tsa choir ena e binang ha monate ke a leboha thank you director ore ke tla be ke mo fositse hampe ha eba nke se ka fana ka monyetla wa Western Peace ara ke tla be ke ntse phoso ka nnete
Iyo,